Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we've got some updates for what's happening in the used car market. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Let's get into it. So Cox Automotive just released their mid-month report for the sales month of May, and it shows that used car values are still trending downwards. Now, we're still obviously like insanely high when it comes to used car values, but we're falling far below the peak, and frankly, we're getting close to falling below where values, bottomed out at the end of last year. So that means that we might find a new bottom, which I think is, well, pretty exciting for everyone that wants more affordable used cars. Now, if we dive into the data, when it comes to price retention at auction, 99%. So this means that cars are still selling for a little bit under what they should be selling for, and that's because, well, they're not valued as high. So the values are going to continue to go down. And when it comes to the sales conversion rate, 59.5%. In a normal May, you should have a sales conversion rate right around that 60% range. So it's just slightly below where it should be. And then when you dive into the individual segments, this is where things get pretty interesting. So the segment that saw the greatest value loss year over year is actually sports cars, 14.3%. And then the segment that has continued to just be strong for some reason is pickup trucks, value loss of 3.9%. If you guys are wondering what the other segments, compact cars have lost 6.6% year over year, luxury 10%, so that's the second highest, midsize cars 7.6%, CUVs and SUVs 7.4%, vans 7.7%, and so the average total loss year over year 7%, which was higher than what we saw last month. And so again, this shows that these used car values, again, they are meaningfully declining. And so this is a push, again, towards those more affordable used cars. And then the last couple bits of data from this, the day supply number with the retail cars, 43 days. So that's down slightly from last month. And this is something that I've been talking about for quite some time, that the availability with used cars as time goes on is probably going to continue to dwindle, at least in the short term. And then wholesale day supply, 25 days, or sorry, not 25 days, 24 days, so also down slightly. And so again, there's just less cars available, but there's less cars available at the same time that prices are going down. And so let's just quickly cap things off for today's video. We'll just make this video be a little bit of a shorter one. So with, again, these meaningful wholesale declines and with the decline in inventory amounts when it comes to days supply, this shows that the used car market is just continuing to soften because there's less supply. And on top of that, right, there's less day supply, but there's also just less supply in general because there's fewer people buying used cars. That's why the values are going down. And so the amount of used car inventory that's available is just going to continue to shrink and shrink. And so this is where we kind of have to dive into a potential scenario where used car values might just hit a bottom a lot sooner than expected just because of supply, right? If supply gets so small, it's like values can only go so far because there's always going to be some people that are going to purchase used cars unless new cars out of nowhere magically became way more affordable, which that's definitely not the case. Because I mean, you look at the average price of a used car, it's under $30,000. The average price of a new car is almost $50,000. That $20,000 price gap between new and used is big enough that there's always going to be buyers for these used cars, even if supply is not great, and even if the cars that are out there are not great as well. So I want you guys to let me know what you think is going to happen with the used car market moving forward. Do you think that this is the beginning of the end for high used car values and we're about to see a huge decline in values, or do you think we're going to continue to see these small declines as the market kind of just slowly corrects? And I think that's what's going to happen. It's super boring, but that's just kind of how things are going this year. I'll see you.